Now it's on now.
Can't. Good, yeah?
It's rolling.
Yeah, so the point I was making before is that a lot of these rappers aren't doing the shit that they're encouraging people to do through their music. And that's how you can kind of tell they're set up. Because it's like, and if you're an actor, right, which is what these rappers essentially are, you have to follow a script. Who's writing the script? You see, the people who own those record labels have come up with a script that, look, we can get a lot of these young Jakes in the grave. See, it's no different to what they call him, Bill Gates is doing right now with the thing. Right? It's the same thing in principle. They're thinking, look, how can we diminish the children of Israel so they're not so many? Well, let's get these so-called role models to promote to them that it's good to go around and shooting people in the head and stealing their Jordans and shooting people in the head because they've got a gold ring and all this kind of shit. Selling them drugs, all this kind of shit. And where is Jake even getting these guns, man? Because Jake don't own no gun factory.
Yeah.
You know, there's been reports that Jake in the hoods, they just find crates of guns.
In Chicago and places.
Especially in Chicago.
Exactly. And I'm just tie this one in. This is a funny point because it shows it's true. This week you had the US pulling out of Afghanistan, right? But what did they leave behind there? All this military equipment, all these weapons, they just upped and left it. So when you ask yourself, okay, well, how are these desert guys, the so-called Taliban, where are they getting all these guns from? You know, where are they getting all their armaments from? You can see this is Esau's agenda, because this is nothing. There's nothing new under the sun, man. Esau's game plan hasn't really changed. So you wanted to bring out a precept in the scripture.
Got their money from opium.
Oh, he's saying where the Taliban got their money from. He's saying they got it from opium.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's a good point. And that's what this war on terror is all about.
Terrible.
The poppy fields, man.
In the name of God. They believe in God and yet they kill at the same time.
Esau don't like them. They don't like the Arabs,
I'm a
innit?
Catholic.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
God bless you.
All right.
Okay, take care.
Pray for Iran or Afghanistan.
Let me bring this up.
Oh, that's lovely, look.
This is
All them green birds again.
Sirach, chapter 5, 1. It says, "Set not thy heart upon thy goods, and say not, I have enough for my life." Yeah, man, because that's what these it's all about, getting things, man. Jake wants to just, he wants to have possessions, man. It's all about possessions, and especially the nickel one, man. Right? And that's women in general are more about the possessions, man. What's that scripture when it talks about eyes not seen, neither?
Yeah, okay.
Reading on, it says, "Follow not thine own heart, own mind, and thy strength to walk in the ways of thy heart, and say not, who shall control me for my works? For the Lord will surely revenge thy pride." Right? So these cats out in this industry, man, all they're in it for is a little bit of cash, man. They're basically picking up the crumbs like Esau's sitting at a table, and Esau's eating, and the crumbs that Esau's dropping on the floor,
or what
these Jakes are eating, and they're walking around like there's something.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's why they're all over social media shining their platinum teeth.
Yeah.
And holding their Esau doesn't walk around like that.
No.
Most of these Edomites, you don't even know they got money.
Yeah.
That's right. That's a good point, if I may. A lot of the Edomites that you think are looking bummy, like they're just walking around in shoes and socks and sandals or whatever, you'd be surprised because some of them, they might come into a shop and buy a carton of milk, but then they get out and they're getting into a Ferrari. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't know, but they got the money, man.
So lucky, even when we finish camp sometimes, you know where they sell the fruits and the veg, and they got the dustbins, and you see sometimes Edomites come up and pick out.
Yeah, I've seen
Don't be judging, sometimes those same Edomites got flipping money.
Yeah.
But they're
you know
so
what I'm saying?
wicked, they don't want to spend them.
But that's what I'm saying, but the point is that we're saying that you just can't judge. You know what I'm saying?
Can't.
But there's professional beggars too. For example, sometimes when you're on the train, when I see this, you get them coming on, oh, I'm just looking for a place to stay tonight and something to eat. You'd be surprised, some of them guys, that's their job, man, that's their hustle. And they're living in a nice apartment, but what they're doing is they're living in a nice area, but they come out their house, put a bit of dirt on their hands, try and come on the train now begging for money, but that's their hustle, man. Don't be surprised. Do you have more on that? No. Alright, so let me get the one you mentioned. 1 Corinthians 2:9. This is a scripture that is very important for our people to hear. Because there's certain scriptures, I mean, we get into many, many topics, but if there's a young Jake who's watching this video and has never heard this before, pay attention. 1 Corinthians 2:9. But as it is written, I have not seen, nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man the things which the Most High have prepared for them which love Him.
Wow.
You know, that's a powerful
That's
scripture,
deep,
man.
man. And what's that telling you? Like, the riches on this earth that these Edomites, just the wealth that they have, man, is nothing. Even if you was to strive towards what the Rothschilds and then the Rockefellers have, Jeff Bezos and Zuckerberg and that, it's not touching what the kingdom is going to hold for
That's
those
right.
that love Yahweh Shem Yahweh man. You know,
That's a
you know,
good point.
we're not in this for the we're not in this for the money, man. Right? Ultimately, we know there's a reward for the works, man. But ultimately, we do this because we fear the Lord.
That's right.
Right? We fear Yahweh Shem Yahweh man. But the Lord is just, man. And there's brothers have made certain sacrifices, you know.
Yep.
For this truth, man. So the Lord has said what? That He's going to reward for the good works, man.
If I may just say quickly on that point, because you made a great point, that brothers have made sacrifices that may not have been seen, because not everything to do with the truth takes place on camera. You know, it just doesn't. That's not how it works. Now, it is in a way, because you could consider the eyes of the Most High to be the ultimate camera. So Yahweh sees everything. So when this camera stops rolling, the Most High is seeing everything that's going on. So there's certain sacrifices that brothers have made, which may not be made public, but Yahweh has seen. So it's very important to remember that. You can't just come up here and look at a man and look him up and down and think, oh, okay, I know everything about him, I've seen everything he's about, and he's X, Y, and Z. No, that's being prejudiced. And that's being an evil suspicion of overthrown judgment. You know what I'm saying? When you're judging something, you're supposed to judge with righteous judgment.
Righteous judgment.
And you can't just go off your own opinion as well. In the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, the matter shall be established. You see, when you're dealing with this truth, as I said before, it's like any game. You need to know the rules. If you know the rules, you can play the game. If you don't know the rules, you're going to do fouls. For example, if you're playing basketball and you're losing, right? Let's say your team's only scored 2 points and your opponent's scored 52, and you're thinking, oh, fuck this, I'm losing, I'm going to do something. You run out, you get a step ladder, and you put it in front of the basket, and you carry the ball up the ladder and you put it in the basket. Would that be a point? No, because that's a foul, because you weren't adhering to the rules of the game. Now, as I said before, this life we're living in now, this isn't real life, man, it's just a simulation. And the simulation is to test who's going to be faithful unto Yahweh Shem Yahweh unto the death and who is not. Now, the elect are all, none of the elect are going to fall short. We're all going to be faithful unto death. And we pray that, Lord willing, we are of that number.
That's right.
But the fact of the matter is, this isn't it. Like Michael Jackson said, this is it. No, this isn't it. Our lives is in the kingdom with all the riches and the glory that is yet to come, and we have to be patient in order to obtain this. As I said before earlier on when the brother was reading, in our patience we're supposed to possess, in your patience possess ye your souls. And that's what a lot of Jake don't do, man, because to be honest, it's a fault of the parents too. The parents are bringing up their young children. Oh, you got to do well at school to get a good job. Oh, you can't get a good job if you don't go to university. Oh, if you go to university, you've got to get a 2-1 or a first. And then when you finish your degree, oh, you've got to get a master's or you're not going to get a good job. All these kind of things, it's all worldly shit, when really, all Jake has to do is just chill. You know, just get enough just to survive the day, get your daily bread. That's all we're here for. We're not here to be rich.
Is this going to pass away, man? All this bullshit is going to pass away, man.
Exactly.
And we're hastening it, yeah?
And brothers, did you see the article? I put it on my video today about how these university students, they're not allowed in the university unless they get the V.
Yes, I've heard about
You
that,
know
and
what I
I'm
mean?
glad.
Right? So that's going to kick up a lot of ruckus. Yeah? So, talk about being satisfied. Can I bring out a scripture,
Yeah, go
brother?
ahead.
Psalm 63, verse 5, verse 7. My soul shall be satisfied as with marrow and fatness, and my mouth shall praise thee with joyful lips. When I remember thee upon my bed, and meditate upon thee in my night watches, because thou hast been my help. Therefore in the shadow of thy wings will I rejoice.
That's beautiful, man.
Yes.
That's beautiful, because brothers do that. I
Yeah.
know I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you dwell on what's going on in the world, man.
Yeah.
And sometimes things are harder than, they were the day before.
Right.
And you're dwelling on what the Lord has promised, man, and his words, man.
Yes.
That's what's going to get us through at the end of the day. We all this bullshit is going to soon be gone.
That's true, brother.
And the point I want to make on that as well is that a lot of these fake ass camps out there, man, because they're actually getting on my nerves right now.
Yeah.
You can tell that they want to be here. You know, they have no inclination of wanting to get out of here, man.
Wow.
That's why they sold out, man. That's why they're all sold out. None of them are talking about the current events, what's going on in the world. None of them is talking about. They're telling you the reverse of them, man. Tell you take the vaccine and you can take MOTB or you can take chips and whatnot. Now none of them are telling you what they're supposed to be telling you, man.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. This is like serious times, man.
Yep.
Like now, the Pentagon has just invented a chip, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's going to detect the vaccine. Now, I'm sorry, the C-19. So now you know. People are
MOTB
going
ties to it.
Of course it is. That's 100%. So what are all them camps that are talking shit about there's no chip and all of this? What are they going to say now, man?
Exactly. If I may add to that, if I may, the thing is, right, these guys are going to be talking shit until the missiles start flying. All these guys who aren't really trying to prepare the people, teaching them the truth about the MOTB and what's going on in the world, that's their, because they love it here. They'll stay in Babylon and they want to ride on in Babylon until the wheels fall off. Whereas Micah 2:10 says to us that we are supposed to rise ye and depart, for this is not our rest. It is polluted and it shall destroy you even with a sore destruction. And to touch on the point the brother made, I get pissed off by these fucking false prophets too, because I saw the video, which many of people have commented on, done videos on, ISUPK, Captain Cesaria, when that woman called up the show, and she's saying, I'm surprised that you people aren't telling us not to take the thing.
She cut them, man.
Yeah, she cut their asses, and that's a woman.
Because she learned it from them that Esau was the devil.
And it's in her spirit. She understands, and she has some kind of route towards the truth because she knows. She could see, discern that they were going off, man.
Yeah.
Now it's the people that are weak in this truth that are just going to listen to whatever they say. You know, they don't have their own basic understanding, man.
Yeah, they lack
First
discernment.
and foremost, you're not supposed to put stuff in you like that.
Exactly.
So how are you going to tell people that they can take it? It's basic. We learn this when we come into this thing.
I knew that when I stopped taking that thing roughly about 10 years ago.
Yep.
Any form of jab.
Stay away from
And
the
I was in the
doctors.
world. You understand? I didn't know scriptures like I know now.
And
So,
go on, say what you're saying.
well, let me bring out this precept. 2 Timothy and 30 says, but evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse,
Yep.
deceiving and being deceived. Right. But continue thou in the things, even you mentioned that woman, yeah? Because this applies to that woman and women like her, and men who are not too sure. Don't follow certain characteristics. What you call them?
Cult of personality.
Cult of personalities. I start from the top. 2 Timothy 3 and 37. But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. But continue thou in the things which thou hast learnt and has been assured of, knowing of whom thou hast learnt them.
Assured of, man.
One more. And that from a child thou hast known the holy precepts or the holy scriptures, which are able to make thee wise unto salvation. Because when I come in the truth, all I wanted to know was about salvation. So there's other things, but I still want to know about salvation.
Well, that's what we're trying to work
Well, that's the end goal.
Yeah.
Because we haven't achieved it yet. So I want salvation. I want to know things pertaining to salvation, and from a child. So when I came into the truth, I was a child because I was born again. Yeah, has known the holy scriptures or the precepts which are able to make thee wise, and most open up my eyes unto salvation through faith which is in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, man.
That's right. Now,
I felt like I wanted to shout through the sometimes you get passionate.
we shout through the TV screen.
On,
monitor
yeah,
screen.
You're right.
Yeah.
Get away from them, man.
Well, that's beautiful because
You could have even read that from the top, you know.
yeah, read it from the top.
Read
Go
it
ahead.
from the top up, but there's some more in there.
Right.
We need to get on these.
Was you going to say something though?
I'll say afterwards. It's
All right.
We need to get on these fucking
2 Timothy 3
prophets, man.
and
That's right.
and 1 6.
It gets you angry, doesn't it?
Know this that also.
Slaki, hang on. Slaki, just one thing. I want to make a point. These guys had the audacity to say it's natural. I don't know if you caught that.
Yeah.
They said it's natural, and the woman goes, "How is it natural?" For example, she said to them, "Sorry, I'll bring it out in a second, right?" But she said to them, "Look, man, where in the scriptures does it tell us to take this serpent's juice? Because when Yahushua was going around and healing people, was he telling them, oh, you need to take this thing? No. So therefore, the scriptures say, mark the perfect man. Yahweh Shai is the person we're supposed to be looking after. Furthermore, Leviticus chapter 19 verse 28 says, ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh.
Right, man.
So you're not supposed to be doing that stuff.
Yeah.
Now, when we was in the world, for example, when I was a little boy, I didn't have a say. So when my mum took me to school, oh, you're going to get your measles jab. Okay, I had no say. But now we've been born again, as the brother rightly said.
Yes.
We're supposed to put off our old ways and adhere, put off the ways of the old man and adhere to the old ways of the scriptures.
Yeah,
and that's what we're supposed to be doing.
Seek the old path, man.
To add to you, because it is it's upsetting. It rises. It brings up a little bit of passion in all of us, man. Because when he was asking those leading trick questions, you know.
Yeah. Where'd you get your water from?
Oh, that's the spirit. He was being deceptive by, do you have your own well?
Yeah.
All that, yeah.
And that's a woman. How's a woman going to do
all that kind of bullshit.
She's a woman, but sluck, yeah, go on.
You know, this is one of them subjects because we know better. That's why. So, and we know he knows better.
No,
but
take your
anyway,
time, bro. Take your time.
these subtle questions, and he said, is it all right? So it's not all right to take
Every
medicine,
time I walk up.
right? That's a
And
trick,
she said she
that's
gets
a trick
them-
question.
Yeah, she said I'll get my medicine out of the earth.
Because
Cool
that
down.
ain't medicine.
And he-
in a nutshell, that's poison, man.
Right.
You go on,
and
man.
he had nothing to say when she said she gets her medicine from the earth, man, from the herbs.
Oh, so-
he got cut. I just want to read this
Yeah.
real quick just to get on the point of the water, right? So Ezekiel 4:13 says, and the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread
Bread
among the
upon Gentiles, yeah.
whether I will drive them. So
Wow.
we know that we're gonna.
Yeah.
That's why we have to pray over these things, man. But drinking water that Esau's manufactured is different from taking his poison, man.
Yep.
All right. Anyone can find out how the whole medical industry was the medical field was taken over by these Rockefellers, man.
Yep, that's right.
It's common knowledge, man. And you're standing there telling a woman, you think she's that dumb? She's caught onto you, man.
Yep.
And now you got nothing. And if you could prove that what you're saying was right, you could have proved that in the scriptures, man.
Yeah.
But you didn't.
They didn't bring out one
Didn't bring out
scripture.
no precepts for that.
Yeah.
And if I may, they even had the audacity to say, so where do you get your water?
All
She says,
that.
I live by a canal.
Yeah.
And she goes, oh, so you get all your water from there? And she goes, no. And then they said, oh, so how do you get your water? She says, sometimes I catch rainwater and I filter it. Oh, that's illegal.
All that, there, all that,
No,
all
do you know
that.
what she said? Do you know what she said to that? Illegal to who?
Yeah.
Ooh, you're right. Yeah, to the Most High.
Man.
Because that should be free.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Free.
Exactly, man.
Exactly.
I've got a quick one because you said you're going to read down.
Yeah,
But
bring
I've
it
got a very quick one, this one. Mark 16 and 8 says, they shall take up serpents, and if they drink any deadly thing, it shall not hurt them. Right? That's not being willful and being
Right.
deliberate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Taking the venom
Yes.
or the poison.
Yes.
And don't play with people's words, yeah? They shall lay hands on the sick and they shall recover. Yeah, that's if you, like, for example, you was asleep. I got my medicines from the earth. All my medicines I get from the earth, right? And if you find out someone tried to slip you something, you know, like a pill or something, you can take certain, I'm not going to mention it, you know, I don't want to get struck for the thing. You can take certain herbs to purify your system.
Activate charcoal.
You know? Well, I'm not going to mention
I just want to
you
say,
know.
we're not
Yeah.
saying
But,
there's people that have some serious illnesses out here
Yeah.
that have to rely on certain things, and they've been doing it for some time, right?
Yep.
There's different circumstances.
That's right.
all right?
Yep.
But there's things that you just cannot get involved with, man.
Yeah,
Yep.
Russian. Someone mentioned the word. We don't play Russian roulette. Would you play Russian roulette with somebody? Russian
Yep.
roulette. You know what it is.
Yeah.
You spin the barrel.
The
of the
barrel
gun
of
if
what-
it goes-
So,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
why would you play Russian roulette with a jab and with your own life?
Exactly.
That's what it is.
I've got a precept for that as well on this point, because that's essentially what you're doing. You're tempting the Most High.
That's the spirit.
The scriptures say, Deuteronomy 6:16, ye shall not tempt Yahweh, your power, as he tempted him in Massah. So the scripture was given to us that we're not supposed to have any cuttings in our flesh. If you decide to go against that and you think, okay, I'm going to play Russian roulette and take a jab.
That's what it is.
Exactly. If you survive that, you've still gone off because you've tempted the Most High. And you shouldn't be doing that. Anybody got anything?
You're gonna read that.
I could read that out.
Oh yeah, go on.
Corinthians, no, Timothy. wasn't it? 2 Timothy, read a couple of verses. 2 Timothy 1 and chapter 3 and verse 1 says, this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come, and men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection,
Read that again.
Beautiful. Huh?
disobedient to parents.
It's like read it from the top.
From 2.
Yeah.
For men shall be lovers of their own selves,
Keep going.
covetous.
Yeah, covetous, man.
Yeah, that's what those
'Cause a lot
guys
of these,
are.
a lot of these niggas, right? They're looking at the apostles in there, and they want to get this top,
They want that position.
the top position. You know what I mean? Like first and foremost, there's lots, man. There's lots in this thing, yeah. And you have to play your position.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of guys fall out, man, because they want to be something that they're not, yeah.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Right. Blasphemers. Where's the word? Covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy,
Yep.
without natural affection, truce breakers, false, accusers.
Yeah, false accusers as well.
You can ask that one. Sure.
Incontinent.
Incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors.
Traitors, that's a good one.
That's an
a
excellent
good
one.
Because what these guys are treacherous to, not only they're treacherous to their own congregation, right? Because they run in churches really.
Yeah, that's
but they're
right.
treacherous to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man. And they don't even know it, but they basically been bugged out, man.
Yep.
You know, what the scripture says, the deceiver,
And
the
deceived
deceived and the deceiver are his, yeah. So they've been deceived, man. And they're sitting there cocky and that with their sunglasses indoors. Because you know, there's a saying that the eyes are the window to the soul, man.
That's a
These
beautiful point.
devils are fucking, because they're just devils, man. They're ashamed. They really are just ashamed.
Yeah.
But they've gone too far, man.
May I add something to that? I'm going to do a lesson on this, Lord willing, but there's something that, if you go into Esau psychology, there's something called neuro-linguistic programming, right? Neuro-linguistic programming. And basically, the whole concept of this field of, I suppose, psychology is that they can influence people through word patterns, and they can also analyze people through their eyes.
I've got time.
Because there's what's known as eye accessing cues. So for example, if you imagine a clock face, right, and you've got 12 at the top, 6 at the bottom, 3 over here and 9 over there, if someone asks you a question and you look to the 3 o'clock position, that means you're accessing a certain part of your brain, right? So if I said to someone, for example, what did you do yesterday? And the person looks to their left, it shows that they're recalling a memory of what they did yesterday. If the person was to look up, it means they're constructing a memory, right? So basically, that's how you can tell how someone's lying.
Yeah.
Because if you ask them a straight question and they're looking up and stuff,
Yeah.
you can see that in their mind they're trying to concoct a story to put forth. Now, this is just the tip of the iceberg. You could go really deep within that subject.
Can I just say something?
Go ahead.
Just to make the point clearer, because you know when you get in this country you get a lot of children going missing and whatnot, and people going missing, murders happen.
Yep.
So what they do is when they think someone close in the family is responsible, they get that person to sit on a stage basically and have a conference with the police. And what they're really doing,
an interview,
what they're really doing is watching that person.
Yeah.
So they got I don't know what they call them, but they get the person to really watch
body language.
Yeah, to watch their body language and what the brother was going into with the eyes and all that, and they're watching them. So then they really can tell, because it's true.
Yep.
It's humans will run on the same thing basically. When it comes to that sort of thing, our brains more or less run on the same wavelengths, right? So they're watching them to see if they're constructing bullshit, or just the fact of someone crying without tears is a dead giveaway. All right? Nobody does that.
No.
Right? Now, if you're truly upset, man, it's a natural occurrence for the tears to flow. It's that simple. But so like, I just wanted to make that.
No, it actually goes in deep, because I used to watch a lot of those 48 documentaries. Was it called investigation documentaries?
Yeah, ID channel.
Yeah, who did it, and what's it called? First 48, and they go in deep. Not to go in as deep, but they mentioned they use psychologists, psychic investigators, and all that. When it comes to something that's very, very serious that they can't let off the hook. And you mentioned about body language. There was a documentary on body language of Tony Blair, and they was doing all kind of how much he was lying and all that. He's a really very good liar. Yep. You're going to say something, though?
It's lucky, that's a good point, because what I just said about this psychology is that those who are really good at it know how to act. So they'll know how to, try and cheat the system.
Yeah.
But then I'm saying this as one part, but really when we're spiritual, we have spiritual discernment anyway, so we don't need to focus on that. But I'm just making that point because going back to those guys at the ISUPK, why are they wearing sunglasses indoors?
Mm.
See what I'm saying? They've got something to hide.
Yeah.
In their spirit, they know that they've been con men, so they're wearing these shades and they've all got this kind of uniform look.
Took it back.
You know, like if you've been in the Matrix or something, they're wearing them shades because they've got stuff to hide, man. Like they can't come straight. Like when that woman was questioning them, she's asking a simple question,
Yeah.
and they're fucking trying to lead her around the houses saying, "Oh, but so you don't take medicines, or where'd you get your water from, and all this kind of shit." Like,
The best way, well, the spirit that's on me nowadays, man, with the salvation just around the corner, you just slam down the blood clot phone, man. No, I'm just saying,
It's
when
good.
you're dealing with people that are like that,
Yeah.
which the scriptures talk about, you can't really entertain them if you know better,
yeah.
because you can't win. But back to you.
So like, there's 2 points on that. The scriptures say, "Depart from a fool when they understand is that the words of wisdom are not in them." So yeah, you're supposed to depart from them. But really, it was edification for anybody who was watching, because remember, not everybody's going to pick up the phone and call in, but there's people who have similar questions, who are thinking similar things. Like, hang on a minute, I thought these guys was telling us that we're not supposed to take it. Why are they now coming out and saying it's natural? And I mean, I've got to say this, man. That's when I feel like you want to grab them by the neck and just rough them up, man. That's me thinking kindly, but it's so annoying because they're trying. This is life and death we're talking about, right? They have the audacity to say the serpent's juice is natural. Well, why is there graphene oxide in it? And what does graphene oxide do to the body?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How can you say it's natural?
I'm just saying, we hold it down a little bit. You know, these YouTube devils trying to latch onto these words. I'm just saying.
Exactly, you're
Just
right.
saying.
I haven't used the
I
V
don't-
word.
I don't want to.
I keep using serpent juice. All right, so
No, you're right. Go on,
but
go on.
yeah, we've got to play it. And this is actually the family of the
that's
word.
wickedness, man. You got to play it. You got to try and play it slick with. We
Yeah.
got to try and play it slick with
truth.
our words
Yeah.
because of these algorithms that these fucking
Yeah.
YouTube devils have got, man. Because they're just trying to shut down.
But that comes down into prophecy again, because look at everything that's happening. Okay, we're seeing Esau move with his serpent juice, trying to get everybody to take that. We see the US pulling out of Afghanistan, which is heating up the conflict over there with China, siding with Russia now, and them also helping the Taliban. This is all heating up the Valley of Jehoshaphat. Then at the same time, you've got false prophets being revealed at the same time. People who are coming up against the truth, ending up falling into the snares that they tried to set for us.
Yes.
The Most High is moving on every front.
Yes, he's moving.
There's no area where the Most High ain't doing stuff. And if you're spiritual, you can see, hang on a minute, this is all culminating at the same time. This is why you know it's the Spirit of the Lord, because it's not like just one thing's happening here and 2 weeks later, oh, that happens. No, it's all happening at once now. Yeah, go ahead, the time's speeding up, man. Bring it out.
Scriptures. This is Colossians 2, and I'll start at 4. It says, "And I say, and this I say, lest any man should beguile you with enticing words. For though I be absent in the flesh, yet am I with you in the spirit, joying and beholding your order and the steadfastness of your faith in Hamashiach." And ultimately, if you're not established and you haven't got the faith, man, you're gonna listen to these devils, man.
Yeah.
All right, you're gonna listen to them, and you're gonna just follow and not do what your own studying and really know. You know, reading on it says, "As ye have therefore received Hamashiach Yahushua the Lord, so walk ye in him, rooted and built up in him, and established in the faith as ye have been taught, abounding therein with thanksgiving." Right. So you're supposed to be rooted, right, and established. So these devils know, and especially in these times, man, because I see a lot of things now. You know, when you're looking at certain videos on YouTube and that, and it's talking about certain things, and it's not to do with GMS or any other of the chat camps, but you see in the comments, man, you see Jake's talking about Yahushua, Yahweh, and Yasha Allah, and
All
Israel,
talking about the mark of
and
the
they're
beast.
talking about all this stuff, man. So
The word's out.
the word is out there, man. So you as a man of the Lord, you've got to be careful in what you're saying, man. Because this is about the truth, man. That's all it's about. All it is about is the truth.
Yep.
Right? It's not about trying to look see who's the best. You know, I see some of these camps opening their videos with rap.
Rap videos.
Raps, all this bullshit, man. Like all that time you wasted doing that, you could be doing something else.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I may just add to your point, what is this head of the Sakari, Al-Azhar? He wants to be the big man, head man, chief priest in Israel, and he's there trying to do rap albums and reality TV shows. How does that fit into the prophecies? You know, is this the time for that? This isn't the time.
I've got to say this. I saw this. I had to do a video on this cat today, man. Because he's just a cat anyway.
I saw that one, yeah.
Yeah, and he's
doing his
talking,
cut-ups.
he's talking about he's got these little videos. He's editing the words of the elders, man. And you're editing the words, man. That is using the trickery of Esau. The same way he uses his media. Yeah.
Yep.
You're editing the words of what the apostles are saying. And you're trying to call them false prophets, this, that, and the other, but you're not proving nothing with the scriptures. Once more, who the fuck are you, man? We don't even know who you are. Not to say that you're supposed to be famous in this truth, right? But these men have been doing this truth, right? They're doing the work of Yahweh for near on 4 decades, man. You think you can just fucking roll in and start talking shit and not even proving what you're saying as well, man?
Yep.
And there's a lot of these guys are going to start coming out. You watch, man. A lot more of these guys are going to start coming out. These nobodies, man, who have no fruits. They're bearing no fruits, man. That's another thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You shall know them by their fruit. The scripture says, man.
That's right.
It says, let me finish this off. It says, verse 8 says, beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men and the rudiments of the world, and not after Hamashiach. And that's what they're doing. They're talking about how is the jab natural.
Exactly.
You must think you're talking to some idiots.
Yep.
It's the truth, though.
Yeah.
How can you honestly sit there and say that? And that's why he had to try and, when she said, can I speak to them? He said, no, you cannot. Because you're getting cut.
Yeah.
You're trying to go into your semantics and your trickery words, man.
Yeah.
And you're getting cut now by a woman as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, he said, can I speak to Captain Tazara?
Yeah.
Because
No, you cannot.
because not because you look like a, partly because of that, but she saw the insincerity in you,
Yeah.
which we see the insincerity in you. It's not just about because you don't look like it's not about that black thing. But people want to use that some of the time.
Yeah.
But it's the insincerity, and she's trying to get to the bottom of it, and she wasn't getting that. She was just going around in circles.
I just want to say, may Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai destroy these wicked niggas, man.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right, man.
I got one for you. Yeah, you finished with that?
Yeah.
Jeremiah 9:7 says, take ye heed every one of his neighbor, and trust not in any brother, for every brother will utterly supplant, and every neighbor will walk with slander. But I just want to use the example we used earlier. His name is called Brother Falai.
Yeah.
And you even got some of these so-called conscious people, which even in the conscious community, they're calling it the dead community.
Yeah.
People don't like this guy because they say, oh, he's got me out of all this money and all that.
Just to chip in on that, because
Yeah.
you know we were talking about he's a con artist. Back to you, I'm gonna give him. But you know, all I hear is this guy robbing people of their money, man.
Yeah.
And Jake's so fucking stupid that some Jakes still follow this guy, man.
That baffles-
in his message.
that
this
baffles
guy-
me, brother.
This guy's a thief.
Yeah.
He's
That
robbed
baffles
this
me.
person, He's robbed this person. He's robbed that person. So go on.
Straight up nigger.
So, and every brother, which they're saying, we don't want to call him brother. So he was exited out of the so-called black community
Consciousness,
long time ago, but he wormed his way back in, because Sarnetta is one of his vessels. He wormed his way back in, and he gets promoted. And as you say, he calls himself a brother, for every brother will utterly supplant, because he uses that subtlety, that wordplay.
Yeah.
And people are gullible.
Yeah.
You know, and even with Dr. Malachi York, which is his
Teacher,
his teacher, when even with all the children that came forward, over 20 or something, hundreds of children, he's still saying, well, we can't. He's still saying that he's still defending him. You know, he's saying, and he's trying to putting blame on children. So that's all you need to know about that so-called Nubian and so-called brother, which is not a brother.
Yeah,
It's
he's
the
not a
brother.
brother at all,
As
man.
we was talking about earlier, things are all being revealed now. Back to you.
I was going to say, because
Yeah.
the Lord done that to him, you know.
Yeah.
The Lord done that to him after what he said about the apostles, man.